Welcome back to video number 2 about how to do conditional formatting. In the previous video, we've learned about the filters. So now we are going to color code our correct and incorrect responses. So in any data set that you have, it's really good practice that when you make your Google form for your assessment, that you take the Google form first to have an answer key. And so in my set of data here, my row 2 is my answer key, where you can see it scores 10 out of 10, and all the correct answers are across the top here. So that's going to be my answer key to make conditional formatting a little easier to work with. If you don't have that, you can always go ahead and insert a row above your data. So if I didn't have that and I needed to add that, I would put my cursor over the number 2 for the row. I would right click and then insert one row above, and then you can type in your answer key after all the responses are collected. But I already have that here, so we're going to continue on with conditional formatting. So the difference between traditional formatting and conditional formatting, traditional formatting would be say I want to highlight the correct answer here, so I'm going to go ahead and press my fill color. So it's just going to give me a background color, and I can label that as correct and say maybe I do that for every single cell. That's traditional formatting, and that's going to take a very long time to do. For conditional formatting, I'm going to set up some parameters that's going to automatically do that work for me. So it's going to save you some time. It's going to enable you to look at this data sheet in real time, so you can set it up ahead of time and then the formatting will work for you. But I find it easier just kind of do it after I collect the responses, and then I can, once I get more familiar with conditional formatting, it's easier to do. So it might take me a couple minutes to do initially, but now it might take me a couple seconds to kind of just put in what I need. So I'm going to start this process. Once again, this is my demo data sheet. Yours is not going to look like mine. Yours is going to probably have question 1 and then the actual question in the header, question 2 and the actual question. You'll have actual multiple choice responses here, but this is a demo, so I just labeled my answer choices as correct and then incorrect 1, 2, and 3, just for the sake of this video to make it easier to kind of practice. So I'm going to start with conditional formatting. I'm in column letter 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight my data. So I'm just going to click in F2 and drag down to F11. I'm going to click on Format and then Conditional Formatting. So for some reason, I never remembered it like that. But I went, where's Conditional Formatting at? I always was confused. And then I realized, hey, Bill, like it's actually in the phrase Conditional Formatting. It's under Format. So Conditional Formatting is there. And it opens up this little side panel here where I'm going to add some single color rules. So I have a range here, F2 to F11, and you can always adjust this. So say you made a mistake and you highlighted F1 and you wanted to change that, or so you can change anything in your data set here. But I have it set up already, so it's looking good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my first color for correct responses. So it says format cells if. And I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I'm going to go text is exactly, and then I'm going to type in my correct answer. I'm also going to see too, maybe my cell value works. So my cell value doesn't work here, but what I can do, if I just want to use my cell reference, instead of using text is exactly and then typing in the actual correct response, so when I type in the word correct, it shows up, it lights up green here for me. I can use a custom formula. So I can, if I wanted to try a custom formula, I can do custom formula is, and then I can do equals, and then so say my first cell that I want to do is F2. So I can do F2 is equal to, and then I'm going to do $F, $2, oops, 2. And you can see it lights up the same way. The reason why I put dollar signs there is because it's telling me like, hey, I want to kind of lock in that reference as the correct answer choice. So the dollar signs lock it in, but you can do the text is exactly and it will give you the same. It will give you the same thing here. And we're going to find the custom formula might be a way to go when we get into how to set up the incorrect answers. But I like this so far. I like this color green, but for the sake, you might change it to this neon green. Say you want to light it up like in the most craziest colors imaginable. Whatever your color scheme is for the first question, you want to make sure it's consistent across all the questions. So you don't want to have a different color for correct and incorrect for each column, because then you want to be able to see your data easier. And this is just one way to see it easier. But I like those muted colors. It just helps my eyes looking at it. I know that's green. And then we're going to set up the incorrect as red. So the way that we're going to do that is we're not going to press done right now. We're going to skip that, and we're going to press add another rule. And the reason why I like the custom formula is it's going to make it easier now to make some changes to this to light up the incorrect responses. So I'm going to go here into the formula for the second equal sign. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do less than and greater than. What that means is when I put those two symbols together, it's going to mean that when F2 is not equal to my answer, I'm going to change it to this red color. And so now I have it lighting up where it's lighting up green and red. I like that. So I'm going to go and press done on that. And you can see here it saves my conditional formatting rules here. And what we're going to do for the rest of the video is I'm going to repeat this process a few more times for the next questions, but the expectation is that you would do this for each one of your columns here. So I'm going to show you another one. So we're going to start with concept 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight it. I'm going to hit add another rule. You see my cell ranges here. I'm going to do my custom formula. And for this one, I'm going to do equals. And I'm going to do G2, because that's the column I'm in, is equal to $G, $2. And I'm lighting up correct responses with my same color that I used. So maybe I didn't use that color and I want to use a different color. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is press add another rule. I'm going to change this middle equal sign to my less than or greater than sign for not equal to. I'm going to change it to red, and I'll press done. So you can see here now it's lighting up correct and incorrect responses. Let's do another one. Highlight the column, add another rule. My range is correct. I'm going to go down the custom formula is, and then I'm going to do equals, and I'm in H2. So H2 is equal to $H, $2. I'm going to use the green color that I've been using. I'm liking it. It's working. It's showing up. Very nice. I'm going to press add another rule. And then I'm going to change that equal sign to the less than or greater than. Change that color to that red that I love. And then press done. And you can see here how the process is just a repetitive process here. Now for conditional formatting, just to let you know that custom formulas is probably one of the trickier things to do. So if you have in your formatting rules, so if you have numbers that you're working with, makes it a little easier, because then you can do the greater than or equal to and all these other various things here. But we're going to keep going. We're going to do one more here with the custom formula, and we're going to do the values here is equal to, I'm in I, so I2 is equal to $I, $2. I'm going to light that up. Oh, only 2 correct there. Yikes, something happened. I'm going to change it to my green, press add another rule. I'm changing that middle equal sign to the less than or greater than combo, and then change that to my red, even though it's going to look pretty gross. Like, oh my gosh, what happened with that question? I'm going to press done. And you can see here we have some great conditional formatting going on. We're going to repeat this process all the way till we get to number 10. Once you've done that, the last part of conditional formatting that we're going to do is we're going to do it with the score here. Score is going to be a little different. That's where we're going to use those greater than or equal to, the less than, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to highlight my scores here. I'm going to press add another rule. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my lowest values. So I want to set up the spreadsheet. Maybe I want to highlight students who were under 50%. I'm going to light them up red. So I'm going to click on my range setup, which is nice. I'm going to format cells if, and then I'm going to do if it's, let's do less than or equal to, let's type in 5 here. So I only have to do the number that they got correct here. So if it's less than 5, I'm going to light that up in my red color, and then I'm going to hit add another rule. And then maybe I want to light it up if students scored under an 80. So say they got 7 out of 10 or less than that. So now I'm going to do less than or equal to, and I'm going to type in 7. And I'm going to light them up yellow because they're, they did okay. Like they got more than half right. But those scores now are going to light up just as yellow. And I'm going to tell you the purpose behind why I'm doing this when I'm done. But I'm going to add another rule. And this is, I'm going to change the less than or equal to now to make it greater than 7. And I'm going to light those friends up in green. So you can see here I have some color coding here as far as how students have done. Now, what this will tell me is it'll tell me, hey, I have student 2 in block 1 that scored a 3 out of 10. So maybe I need to provide some remediation on this topic. I need to find them during resource. I need to get a hold of this student to help reinforce some learning here. For my students that are in green, this tells me that they are proficient or have mastered this topic, and that, hey, they can move on to the next topic, all those good things like that. My students in yellow might need maybe they made some errors that are fixable pretty easily, that just in some conversations that can kind of get them to that proficient or mastery range. So this is the video about conditional formatting. The expectation is that you would do the score and that you would do concepts 1 through 10 for the formatting.